checks for law enforcement trust fund last time I counted. Once we take on these security people, you watch and see if that number isn't real close to 77.
Oh, it will be. But everybody knows that. That's what the deal is. Everybody knows it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
These people are being moved over and used someplace else. We'll have the same amount of people out on the road. We'll have more people serving paper. We just won't have these people. They're just being moved across. Nobody's losing their job. I mean, if they are, I need to know that.
I don't have that number. I don't know that somebody is or isn't. My understanding was initially, but that was before you came back with the budget, the initial budget. But that there would be a patrolman gone and a detective gone.
He had told me that 7 positions is what he had to eliminate. I don't know how many people we paid. Did you count first cycle in January? I think it was real close. It might have been up around 80, 77, somewhere in there.
Yeah, I don't think, according to what he had told me the other day when he came in about taking on Detective Huffman, was that he wasn't doing anything until February 1st. Well, and frankly, I said I didn't want to transfer anything until I had a memorandum of understanding with him based on that person, because I find that it's much better to have things in writing.
Maybe what we should do is we should try to have a meeting with the sheriff about this, since it's all about the security of the people. Maybe you shouldn't come talk for the sheriff up here. Well, you should, because it's your responsibility to protect your people. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I
But
wasn't
we're
really
talking about
about.
he should come and tell us what his employees are, all that kind of stuff, so we can have a general understanding straight from his mouth.
That's, yeah.
Right? If he was
That's
going to
fine
do
with
this,
me. But I'm not here for him.
Okay.
I'm here
Okay.
because we've been notified that we aren't going to have
But
security in
if
that
he was
building.
going to do this back whenever we were looking at the budget, this should have all been hashed out before that. But that's okay. Maybe he didn't have time. Whatever. We can believe whatever. But so when are we going to do that? If he's going to do that by next February, when do you do that by?
Well, he said
Next week. We need to be visiting with him, and because I guess if he's going to change it, and it's going to affect everybody this big.
February 1st.
the 47 or $49,000 is what he said. If we could give that back to him, he could keep everything the way it was. But we didn't give him that. But he moved $55,000 of his own funds out of the revolving or whatever, and put that sum back in there.
I don't know anything about any of that. I kind of.
That's just an observation. Because
So
47 or 49 was supposed to fix it.
What can I do between now and next Wednesday?
I guess we're going to have to meet with the sheriff, and he's going to have to put it all down on paper. If he's going to not have that responsibility and put it on us, I guess we're going to have to, or we'll have to decide if we don't have it or not. Well,
What point does it do to talk? Because at the beginning of the year, we set a budget, and I know we don't control the line items, but there was a specific amount in there for bailiffs.
Right. But not for.
Well, the bailiffs included the people that work.
Well,
when I say bailiffs, I mean the people working.
Right.
There was a line in there for that. But because it's a bottom line budget, and he's going to capitalize on that fact and say, well, midstream here, a month after you set the budget, you're going to do. What good does it do to talk to somebody like that?
Well, let me ask you this. If I were to hire someone for the door, obviously my budget isn't going to be, I won't be out of money in my hiring or my salaries until, sometime in the third quarter, probably by the time, if I were to add up a person to be a security person.
That's not right. Why should your budget suffer? Because
if anybody's budget was going to do that, his should do that.
At this point, though, I'm not.
I'll take it out of the emergency fund before you or anybody else that's sacrificed year after, not you, but your predecessors, year after year to subsidize that operation over there.
I'm just saying, if I did that, would the commission enter into a MOU, and then if I ran out of money to the amount that we had agreed on, would you be able to, or would you agree to
We would
subsidize me by the, towards the end
I would
of the year?
contract with a private security firm, Wheeling or somebody like that, until we can get something figured out.
I mean, there's plenty of law enforcement people that have lost their jobs. I'd probably ask some of them, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I know
But-
some that have lost their jobs. There might be a person
And
that,
because there's court there, they have to be post-certified and all that good stuff.
and that's
We
the
got-
other problem.
We got to put an ad out in the paper.
But the other problem is,
But that was all gonna get sacrificed, the ad in the paper and all this stuff. He was gonna leave it without anybody the 1st of February, is what everybody's in the scare about.
correct.
Even though here we said, that,
But-
and that's all, okay.
I mean, understand that this has been conveyed to me through everyone except for the
Right.
sheriff.
Okay.
And then I asked him about it. We at the grand jury did a tour on Friday, because they're supposed to tour the building. So they toured the building over there on Friday, and he told the grand jury. And I happened to be sitting in there because they were having
He
lunch.
told the grand jury they wasn't gonna have no security,
Correct.
and they still wanna play?
Well, I explained to them.
Did he say there was gonna be no security, or he wasn't gonna provide it?
He said that he was no longer gonna provide, well, that's what he said. Effective February 1st, I won't be providing security at the door.
Okay, that's it, and you haven't known that.
Till
I haven't known that
late,
till-
what was it, Friday you told me when Kurt Veneman was in here?
What did Kurt tell you?
Sometime
It was like Friday morning, Friday around 11.
Yeah.
I sent the email Friday night to y'all. That's when I learned of it.
Which was the 20th. So I have a whopping 11 days. It becomes an emergency for me and you.
Correct.
There's infinite sums of money in that budget to pay for those things. They're just moving over to different spots.
So whatever, I mean, you direct me in how you want. I mean, I'll do whatever at this stage of the game. I wanna just be able to kind of extinguish some of the concern, if at all possible.
I think we need to talk with the sheriff up here, in person, all of us, before we go pulling money out of emergency funds to give him more money in his
Well, we're not,
other
Well,
account. That's what we're gonna do.
No.
That's what we're gonna do.
no,
If
we'll
we
hire
hire,
somebody.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
If we hire
I'm with
somebody,
you. I'm with you.
that money's gonna get, he's gonna go ahead and get another $100,000 into his account or whatever. And before that all comes about, we need to talk with him.
Well,
The $100,000, did I lose you? I didn't lose you. He's gonna take the money, what we're gonna spend for him on security, he's gonna take those boys and still spend it over here, so he's gonna get that much more in his,
oh, gotcha.
of course he is.
Right.
That's the big plan.
Same amount of money.
It's not a
you just have to
game,
do
the
more.
security of the people is not a game, but that is what this has turned into. We
Well-
all know it. We need to sit up here and talk with him and get it out in the open.
But
You don't need to be at the sheriff's office not discussing this with us all.
something else that
If
needs to
this
be
was-
considered
If this was the
too,
biggie.
if, depending on what you guys decide, that person or persons, they'll hold a commission from the sheriff. And so we would have to include in an MOU that he,
Explain that to me a little more. Say that all again.
He's gotta be a commissioned officer because he's in a court building.
right,
Okay, but the sheriff doesn't have to provide it.
correct, but the sheriff has to commission him. Or, I mean, but the sheriff can commission anyone or no one. I mean, the sheriff has the complete authority to say, yeah, you're commissioned or no, you're not. So either we have a memorandum of understanding with him that says he will continue, you know, those people will maintain their commission status, so long as they don't do, of course, break the law and do that kind of stuff. Or we would need to reach out to like Jeff Taylor, since he'd be the chief, we could probably get a commission through the city of Troy since it's still within the city limits. But nonetheless, that's something to certainly consider, because you don't want to have somebody that we think has a commission and then they come in and start working and their commission gets yanked, because then we're not abiding by the law.
Now, what if I did business with a private security firm that has, how do they go about providing security? Are are they certified by,
And we were supposed to know all this
But actually-
by in those 11 days?
actually, the company that, security companies set standards and have criteria for people to,
And I don't know what those are, but I could
right,
check.
but they vary from company to company.
I get the impression that your position is that I am attempting to mislead you. And
I just want to make sure everybody understands, that's all. Hey, I don't think you're trying to mislead us. I think the situation is you're scared for your people, and I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all, so there's no misleading.
well, I guess my
What is there to
interest
mislead about?
well, no, and you're looking at me like, how were you supposed to know that within 11 days?
Well, how were we supposed to
Well,
know that?
I don't know.
Well, I don't know
It
either.
wasn't my decision.
Well,
None of this
I know.
was. I'm just
I
dealing
know.
with the aftermath. So, I mean, I don't know where his money was supposed to be spent, where I have enough problems dealing with my own. All I know is that we were told that effective February 1st, we would no longer have security at our doors in the Justice Center.
Okay, and that was,
And part of that trickled through because Janet Briney works in my office and her husband has worked the door there for who knows how many years.
Right.
So part of that's how it started filtering in. It wasn't, no one came to me and said, oh, by the way. And then I got an email from Judge Beck that said, do you know anything about this security? Please get with me so we can talk about it. I'm concerned. I don't know who made this decision. And then I sent the email out and then that was just 2 days ago. So in no way was I apprised of any of this until
I didn't
last
even
week.
assume that you were. I'm saying we
Okay,
have
and I
11
was-
days to fix it.
just a misread. I know, and I don't know how to,
We're all sitting here aggravated because this got dumped in our lap.
Well,
I
And-
agree. I mean, I agree wholly, I agree. But it's,
You should have been officially informed, too.
what, something should, I mean, it just,
Not just happen to find out.
well, you don't wanna hear it from,
employees.
and victims that call in the phone that heard it at a coffee shop.
See, that's,
That's a little much, so. But anyway, just, you direct me and I'll do whatever you give me the authority
Well,
to do.
we need to orchestrate a meeting. I mean, there's no point in, running like a chicken with our head cut off.
We're getting pretty good at it.
But we need, for what it's worth, I mean, I don't know what we hope to gain from, other than to get official clarification that this is gonna take place.
that's what I'm saying. He needs to come up and talk to us and tell us what's going on. If he's gonna put that responsibility onto us, he needs to come up and tell us about it in front of everybody, I would think. Is that what you're saying?
When's he come to the meeting?
What?
He comes first Tuesday of the
So
month.
he won't be here until after
Right.
February.
Okay, so after it was done, we wouldn't even know it was done.
Right.
So,
So,
is
next
Crystal
month,
gonna set that up?
next Monday or Tuesday, however you wanna go about it, whatever time, we'll put it on the agenda, and we can, I don't know what we will gain from it. Just another lesson learned.
Is there something that we could do on the latter part of this week, or is that not doable?
No,
Let's do it.
today's
Today's Monday.
Monday.
What about tomorrow?
24-hour notice.
Well, I
This,
think
this would be
this
an
definitely
emergency.
constitutes an emergency.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sure that people- well, I'm sure that would-
10 o'clock
that'd be
tomorrow?
problems too.
10 o'clock tomorrow, if we can make it happen, but fact remains, we have to pull a rabbit out of our hat.
And we don't even really know what size rabbit to pull out of, isn't it? Because we haven't been told.
Right.
That's what
I need to know how many people are there now and how many are not going to be there that I have to replace.
I will get on that as soon as I get back. Are you gonna?
I'll call the sheriff.
Sheriff will be tomorrow, too.
I'll call
If you
Leah
can.
and let you know.
Yeah, if you would.